Welcome to the podcast. My guest today is Jan Stoneburner. Correct? Did I say it?
That's exactly right.
I got it exactly right.
You did.
I stumble into the truth sometimes, don't I, Jan?
Yeah.
And Jan, she is with the Star Theater, located over in Upper Sandusky. And they got something exciting going on. And I want to say exciting because I think it's very exciting. In the month of May coming up, called the Rally in the Alley. So I guess, first of all, who are the star players in Upper Sandusky?
Well, in Upper Sandusky, the Star Theater, we use both those words, Star Theater and Star Player, interchangeably.
Yes.
The Star Theater is the wonderful historic building on West Wyandotte Avenue, but it's on an alley, which is named Star Alley. Right. And so Star Players are the nonprofit that I belong to that put on shows at the Star, maintain the theater. They own the theater.
Okay.
And so we'd like to increase our membership this year. So we came up with the idea of having Rally in the Alley. Since we're right down the alley and we have the Premier Bank parking lot they're going to let us use, we're going to do a lot of entertainment.
Yes, and I noticed that, and the best way to describe this, I guess, overall, is basically every Thursday, which there are 5 in the month of May, you have a specific event going on to theme for this Rally in the Alley. So there's 5 weeks it goes on. You can obviously go to all of them. You can go to one of them, however many, whatever you want to do. But aren't they from 6 to 8?
Yes.
6 to 8 in the evening.
Yeah, and we hope people will come to all of them. It's live entertainment and food. So food trucks will be there.
Okay, so I'm going to have you present all of this as the way that you would like to do it. And we'll kind of wrap back into this again. But why don't you whet our appetite with this? And by the way, I've attended, and you know this, I've attended many of plays and things over there over the years there. And I can tell you all, it's all very enjoyable. It's always been an enjoyable evening in town. So I'm sure this Rally in the Alley, the event you got planned, will be pretty awesome. You don't want to miss it. I go back to Jan.
Okay, well, I want to tell you, you're right, because a lot of the entertainers that we have perform at the Star or in the area. There's one from Marion, there's one from Findlay. So I can tell you about each one of them?
Sure, whatever you'd like to do.
Well, on May 2nd, your audience may know Ron Boos and Sarah Grote. They are both actors, and Ron's from Upper and Sarah's from Marion, but they have worked together at the Palace Theater in Marion in Music Man. And Sarah, I think, just finished starring in Beauty and the Beast down there. So you can tell, super talented, right? So they'll be out there in the alley entertaining, but also people will be able to, there'll be different food trucks. And on the first Thursday of every month in Upper, there are always food trucks out on the street. So we're just going to piggyback on those this time.
Okay.
All right. So each week, too, we have like an activity. So we're going to take people on tours of the theater.
Okay.
So they can go in and see the box office, the prop room, where we build the sets, the theater itself.
Yes.
So we want to expose people. The Star has maybe 127 members. And for a county of Wyandotte County, really, we can get a lot more members like that. And we need their support. Financially, volunteers, we just need more people. So that's what this is all about.
Well, and this is about boosting your membership.
That's right. And one other thing, Upper Sandusky's kind of revitalizing. We had a fire a couple years ago. It took out 4 buildings in Upper.
Yes.
Property management team called Thrive Local has purchased those buildings. Mm-hmm. And they're in the process of bringing downtown Upper Sandusky back. We want to be part of that with the theater district.
Obviously.
Right. So on May, 9th, I'm really excited about this. There's a girl, and she was in the show I produced last year, MASH, Erica Bickhart. She's a professional singer from Findlay. She's a backup singer for a touring, what do you call it?
Like a tribute group?
Yeah, well, she's doing a tribute, but she's a backup singer for an Elvis Presley impersonator.
Oh, really?
They travel all over. She does her own Karen Carpenter show. And so she's doing that for us.
That could be very, very interesting.
Some of you may know former Mayor Washburn, Scott Washburn from Upper. He's not the mayor now, but it's his sister. So that's kind of how we know her. Again, we're going to have food trucks, and our activity is, there are a lot of people from Upper that are in the industry. They don't live in Upper Sandusky anymore.
Yes.
But like one of my former students, David Romick, is the sound engineer for the Tour of Wicked, right? Jeff Kinn, runs the theater in Sarasota, Florida. We just have people like that. They're putting to, Nick Diatori, I'm excited. He does movies out in Hollywood. They're putting together testimonials about how their hometown
Yes.
and how the arts are so important. And we're going to show those on the big screen in the theater on the Saturday.
That's very interesting.
That's really cool.
Yes.
So the third Thursday,
That'd be May 16th, I believe.
May 16th, some people may have heard Larry Till is a solo performer in Upper, but he is teaming up with Brad Baker, who does shows at the Star. And it's more like a rock band or music from the 70s or 80s.
Yes.
In high school, Larry was in a band called Zeke, who won a national Battle of the Bands.
Oh, I
And
did
so,
not know that.
so people see him at a lot of the local restaurants, and
Mhm.
so they're going to play in the alley. Okay, so that'll be like really fun. But we're also that night, we're having a photo contest. So ahead of time, we're going to ask people to take pictures of the Star, things that represent the Star Theater. And the prize is going to be, the first, second, and third places are going to split the money because we're going to vote by money. But the winner gets to be on the program this year for the Star
Awesome.
Theater.
Awesome.
So that picture. So
Awesome.
we hope people will jump on that. We have quite a few good photographers we see on Facebook. Now the fourth one, that's May 23rd.
Yes.
I'm
familiar with this one because I was there for the play when this was, and it was really well done.
Yeah, that's my show. I love this show. It's called The Marvelous Wonderettes. And because I was a teacher in Upper at the high school, I knew when I saw that show on Sanibel Island in Florida, I knew if I could get these four girls, they were the Bacon sisters and Miranda King. They're all married now. If I could get them for this show,
You'd have a hit.
I would have a hit, and I did.
Yeah.
And it's all music from the 50s and 60s.
Yes.
They're going to perform again in those roles.
Well, I want to tell you, it was very, I was there for that, and it was it was very well done. I can't.
Well, their dad, David Bacon, is an attorney in Upper, and he helped me put that on.
Oh,
So
wow, pretty
teaming
awesome.
up, we put on a really, really good show. And so that night also, we're going to have, food trucks.
Right.
But we're also going to have a mini car show. Upper has a huge car show in September.
Yes.
But the president, Mike Gaster, is the president of the Classic Cars or Wyandotte Cruisers. And I called him up and I said, hey, Mike, can you get me 5 or 6 cars from the 50s or 60s? He said, yes. And they're going to bring them up and have them sitting around in the alley for car buffs to look at. So
That's something. Then you got one final one on May 30th, correct?
yeah, this should be something. We
May
don't know how it's going to go, but Ethan Cordy was the star in SpongeBob when they did it last summer. Really good show. And he's going to fill in. He's going to be singing, but it's really an open mic night for kids in the community.
Oh, that could be.
Yeah, K through 12.
Yeah.
We're going to invite all the high school, all the schools, Winford and Bucyrus and Upper and Cary and Mohawk. They have to sign up so we know what we've got, how many we've got. So we're going to let them sing. It's not a competition, and it's not anything. It's just for the fun of it.
Yeah.
Of course, we'll watch and see where our rising stars are.
Well, sure, you're always looking for talent.
Yeah,
Let's face the facts.
we're
You're a theater person.
Yeah.
You're always looking for the next.
Now the Star Theater also has a group that we'll invite. It's called Star Kids,
yes.
and they put on a show every
Yes.
summer. And so we'll invite them too if they want to.
That's pretty awesome.
So it's pretty open. And I was going to, we're going to have, do you know how they put those, we're going to have displays or backdrops with different kind of hats and the things you put up to your face like a mustache,
right.
so people can take crazy pictures that night with their groups. The thing, I don't know, it's because we live in Upper Sandusky and we have great restaurants downtown now, and we're going to have more. But people are excited. We're getting the Chick-fil-A food truck. People in Upper love Chick-fil-A, I guess. But we got them. And I had to get a waiver from the city because to come, they need to be there more than the 2 hours, like 6 to 8.
Yeah.
So they're going to be there from 1 to 8. And they're going to be parked in front of the courthouse. And it was so cute because when I went to city council to get the waiver, the chief of police was there. And he kind of had this straight face. I thought maybe they were going to turn me down. And he says, well, I don't know if we have the manpower to control the crowd. And then he says can't they come at 11 over our lunch hour? And I go, no, they're coming at 1. And he said to the mayor, he said, well, we do have to check that truck out first before they can.
Yeah. Well, there's no interest like self-interest, correct, Jan?
Yes, right. So you can tell, I think, we have a lot of exciting things going on.
Now, see, what I like about this, and this is why I like when I knew you were coming over to do this with me, you see, you're a mover and a shaker. I mean, you know a lot of people. You're like me. You know a lot of people, but you may not know it yourself, but you know who to contact to make it happen.
Yes.
And I can see your fingers in every bit of this, but that's the way things get done. You have to do this, and you have to engage people to make it, a happening thing here. But I want to roll back here.
Okay.
I want to re-emphasize this as make sure we got it all again. We're talking about the rally in the alley taking place in downtown Upper Sandusky in the Star Alley located at 121 West Wyandotte Avenue.
Right.
And in Upper Sandusky, Ohio. And this is going to be on the 5 Thursdays of that month, which I believe are May 2nd, May 9th, May 16th, May 23rd, and May 30th. Please consult your calendar to make sure that's correct.
That is.
And it is every Thursday.
Yes.
That's a Thursday starting at 6, ending at 8.
Right.
Okay, and if you, obviously people that want to re-listen to this to know more about it, where else can they go on social media or somewhere else to hear and see what we just talked about, or know more about this?
It'll be everywhere in newspapers and also Jan Stoneberg Facebook page. If you go there, my page is public. And you'll see lots of things on there about that. But if I could real quickly tell you about one more thing I'm excited about. We want to kind of start creating a theater district.
Oh, that'd be wonderful.
You know, right there in that alley, we have restaurants like Don Tomaso's, Cheers to You, Ford 88's a new restaurant. But what we're going to do is we got Edison lights. And so the city gave us permission in all the buildings there to attach them. So we're putting in Edison lights all the way down the alley.
Wow.
I was just up in Cleveland. I know Cleveland's big, but at the Playhouse Square, and there are Edison lights hanging everywhere. And this is Ron Boos's dream. And so we're going to help him. And we've got people that are paying for it, supporting it. And so we're going to create this venue or this feeling in Upper Sandusky too. And then I have you said, I know a lot of people because I was a teacher for so many years. I have, when you teach at the high school level, you have thousands of students. So I have another student, Jeff Pell, that's helping me build the thermometer because we're going to try to get 300 new members.
Oh, awesome.
And so on the side of the building, we're going to have the thermometer. And then David Bacon has bought these lights, these LED lights that we're going to shoot off. They're really cool if we meet our goal.
Oh, well, that's really awesome.
And that's going to be at the last event. We're going to flip the lights for the Edison lights at the first event. So there's lots going on, and we'd like to invite everybody listening.
Don't miss it.
Come over. Yeah.
Well, again, I want to thank Jan Stoneburner, representing the Star Theater, I guess, and Star Theater Players, because they're both kind of interchangeable.
Right. Sure.
And again, that's brought us this information regarding the rally in the alley taking place the 5 Thursdays in May, and consult your calendar on that. She's went through all of these. You can go to her, what's it?
Facebook
page, and it'll have all this information, and there's going to be a lot of publicity about it. So I would imagine probably if you just even Googled in Rally in the Alley, Upper Sandusky, Ohio, it'll probably show up somewhere.
Right.
Well, thank you again for being a guest on the podcast.
Thank you for having me.